Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Well, we've been doing quite well. I'm just over 64,000 subscribers. Guys, we need to reach 70,000 subscribers, though, by the end of March, so March 31st, 2021, and I will be giving away a Ledger Nano S and X if we hit that goal. You have to be subscribed to the channel in order to be eligible, but I am giving two away to two lucky people. All you have to do is be subscribed, and I just got to thank you guys, the ones who have already subscribed and the ones who are, commenting, getting really excited in the comment section about the giveaway. I'm excited to give them away on April 1st, the day after the deadline. So I really hope we reach our goal by March 31st. Guys, I saw this from Luke Martin here on Twitter. Even after one of the most vicious sell-offs this year, BTC price is still sitting right where we started last week. Sometimes I feel like we are all sitting a little too close to our screens, and I tend to agree. I mean, look at this dip. I mean, it was a magnificent dip. BTC brought the rest of the market down with it. Let me just bring up Bitcoin here on the hourly. You guys can see that. That's the dip that we experienced yesterday, and BTC corrected. How much did we correct yesterday? We corrected roughly 23%. Okay, so 23% in the grand scheme of things, not so much, but this might not be over. Okay, we have routinely seen Bitcoin corrections upwards of 45% in the last bull run, so it's not out of the cards that BTC could correct even further. Right now, it's trading at about 50,600. But just to Luke's point here, and I just want to bring this up to kind of put everything into perspective, we are now up over here, okay, to about 50,000. The last time we saw that price tag, 50,000, or rather the first time we saw that price point for BTC was here. Okay, February 17th, and just to his point, we are February 24th today. We are right here. February 17th is literally 1 week ago, and so, we're just literally seeing prices from a week ago. I mean, this is still nothing compared to a possible correction that we could see down the road, a possible correction that could go on for a month or more. Remember, guys, to take profits off the table, guys, especially if you are in different types of cryptocurrencies. I know some of you guys hold Bitcoin. A lot of you guys hold XRP. XRP, we're still waiting for our day. We're still waiting for that huge knockback in Bitcoin, and I personally do think that is going to happen a little later. I do personally think we will get out of this correction eventually, and Bitcoin will rally higher, and once it gets closer to its all-time high, I mean, like we saw back in 2017, that is when we will see that kind of knockback that will really set altcoins off and deliver those types of profits that we saw in 2018, early 2018, and that time was around here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin did correct 43% and then struggled to get up to its all-time high. This was back in 2017. Sure enough, this was early January, and the altcoins just took off from there. So basically, the latter half of December 2017 and the first week approximately of January 2018, that was when we saw the altcoin season. And so are we going to see one altcoin season, two altcoin seasons? Some people are ruling out two altcoin seasons altogether, and I can see why they think that, but there still is a case for a prolonged Bitcoin bull rally and two potential altcoin seasons. Now, this is not going to happen within the next 6 months or even 12 months. I'm going to put things into perspective for you, so keep watching the video. I saw this from Anders L, and so this is part of the story. I might be completely wrong, but isn't this the most bullish news of 2021? And this is the block reporting that Bitfinex and Tether have settled with New York's general attorney for $18.5 million. Now, Tether is a big part of crypto trading, if you guys don't know that. It is the on and off ramp for many people to protect their crypto profits, and it's listed by a lot of exchanges in the United States specifically, so a very easy way to get in and out of cryptocurrencies, and they have settled. So there was some uncertainty around Tether for a bit, but they have finally settled. So crypto firms Bitfinex and Tether have settled with the New York Attorney General's NYAG's office, ending a legal dispute that began in mid-2019. As part of the settlement, Bitfinex and Tether have agreed to pay $18.5 million in penalties to the state of New York, according to a statement from the New York Attorney General, Letitia James. This is big news considering how big this case was. XRP_King6 here saying they were sued for $1.6 trillion and settled for $18.5 million. That seems really odd. Anders L agrees here, almost too good to believe. Fredostat here mentioning agreement with Bitfinex, Tether, and the related entities will require them to cease any further trading activities with New Yorkers, as well as force the company to pay $18.5 million in penalties, in addition to requiring a number of steps to increase transparency. So not rosy. And Anders L saying it could be way worse. In my opinion, this was the best possible outcome. And I agree. I think that this is the equivalent of a slap on the wrist, perhaps, for a company like Tether. We know that, I forget the guy's name at the moment, but the guy that runs Bitfinex, he was also involved in this Tether lawsuit. And the whole thing was they were backing Tether by Bitcoin, but then they were using Tether to buy Bitcoin. And so it was almost like a pyramid scheme that was happening here. Bitfinex is an exchange that was allowing some of this to happen, from what I understand. And it looks like they came out with a measly $18.5 million fine. Overall, I mean, regardless of what you think about this, overall, this is going to be good for cryptocurrency trading as a whole. They do need to be more transparent. Maybe that will even translate to their printing of the Tether cryptocurrency. As you guys can see, Tether in the number 4 spot by market cap. Likely because they just keep printing USDTs without any kind of consequence, or at least that's what they were doing. I don't know if that's going to change. I don't know if Tether is going to get knocked down on this list, but this list is really just the number, the highest market cap in the crypto space, and so I don't even really consider Tether being number 4 as that impressive. They are just, again, a coin that you funnel your profits in and out of to secure your profits, to preserve your profits before you get into the next trade. So for the overall cryptocurrency narrative, this is a great thing. Bitcoin is indeed rebounding. Could we see a bigger decline for Bitcoin? Of course, as I had just mentioned. Let me clear this stuff away. I'm going to bring up a trend base fib extension, and this gives us a good idea of where we could see the price go down. So this is it's almost like an inverse Fibonacci tool. I know the one you guys are used to will show us extensions based on the trend going higher. But if you bring this trend extension from the last correction to the top of the last correction to the bottom of the last correction, all the way back up to the top, so it's a bam, 1, 2, 3. It draws some Fibonacci lines, and as you guys can see here, we have reached the 1 line, this one here, and this trend did come down, hit that line, come back up. Now we're going to see what it's going to do, if it's going to come down further. I mean, the next level would be down and around here, which would bring Bitcoin down to about 37,000 or around 36,800. And then we could actually hit the bottom of this level here, which would bring Bitcoin around 29,000. And what do those percentages look like? So right now, as I had mentioned, we have corrected roughly 23%. If I bring it down to this line, it would bring it to 36.8%, so roughly 37%. And if I bring it all the way down here, that would be a 50% correction. Okay, that would bring us all the way down to the bottom of the last correction that we saw in January. So these are some targets that we need to pay attention to. Of course, it is nice that we did see Bitcoin pop up off this level here. So will we see it rally higher? Will we actually see it go lower from here? Well, there are some conflicting views in the space. Of course, everybody wants to see it go higher, but it is quite possible that it could create that formation where it comes down, tries to make its way back up, doesn't quite reach that top, then comes down even further, rebounds, finds some equilibrium, and then pops off into the stratosphere to make new highs. And of course, we don't know how long this is going to take. So this could look like this, or we could extend it out and there could be a lot of noise in here in the middle before this happens, and it could look like this, and it could bring us out to May or April, or who knows. That is the most difficult part about predicting these things. We don't really know how much time it's going to take for this kind of thing to happen. And this is why, right, this $100 plus XRP prediction is quite possible. And some are suggesting even as early as fall 2022. Now, if you were to tell that to somebody back in 2018, they'd say, oh, I'm done with this channel. I don't care about what's happening in 2022. That's so far off. Sure, XRP could hit $100 in 2022, but I'm interested in the now. And I know for some of you guys who have been around in this space for a while, who have been paying attention to some of the videos, some of the content creators, we were all talking about, you know, the next bull run, the next spec run, but we've also talked about real world utility. And this prediction is interesting because it combines a little of both. First, I want to bring up this from Army XRP. Here's a fractal pattern from December 2017, and it is looking like we are starting to slowly come out of this hibernating state, I guess we could call it. So what he's looking at over here, let me just bring up XRP on the chart, is this ultimately. Let's go back to 2017. Actually, let me bring up the chart with a little more information on it here. So I took the fractal from here. I've already done it here, and you guys can see, brought it all the way over here. And you guys can see this same pattern. I did this in a former video. I'll see if I can find that video. I'll link it up here. I give a little more detail on what's happening. But basically, you can see the down, the slight move up, the retrace back down, coming up into this level here. You can see how that matches with that. Coming up into this level here and then shooting up straight upwards up there to a level of $2 and give or take $2.55, $2.35, just depending on what exchange you're looking at. And that $2.35 mark, of course, is a very, very popular one. We can see by putting a Fibonacci extension here on the entire trend, we can see that getting up to that level here, about $2.50, would almost bring us to our all-time high. That is the level that a lot of us are eyeing, that mid $2 mark here. So I'm just going to put a circle there just to kind of give you guys an idea of where a lot of us are expecting XRP to go. Then we're expecting a pullback down and around here at around $1.40, give or take, at the 0.382. And then what we're expecting, of course, XRP to shoot straight to the moon at around $13. On this exchange, it would be about $14.58, give or take. So we are formulating this same kind of trajectory here as per Army XRP's tweet. And I believe this fractal pattern was originally discovered by Mr. Miller XRP, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'll see if I can still find that video. Of course, I give him credit for this discovery. Army XRP also just pointing this out for our benefit. And so what's the narrative behind this $100 plus XRP price tag? I saw this from XR Patience. I used to giggle at the idea of XRP going above $100, but not anymore. Why not? On what facts and data is this seemingly preposterous belief based? And so he extends his knowledge by posting this in a thread. So according to TA from guys like Blockchain Backer and others, XRP will reach $10 to $13 this alt season. And I think for a lot of us, we're taking a look at what the Blockchain Backer has to say about XRP price. And, in a lot of ways, I agree with most of it. It does make a lot of sense. That $10 to $13 range seems very, very achievable, given, the history, given what we've seen XRP do in the past, given the TA techniques that he uses. Backer has repeatedly shown the fractals that indicate this on his YouTube channel. But will there be only one alt season? And I believe at this point, the Blockchain Backer believes there will only be one alt season. But 360 Trader explained that based on past cycle lengths, this bull cycle will likely last to around the fall or autumn of 2022, much longer than the first alt season is expected to last. Now, this is suggesting that these bull runs will actually last longer than previous bull runs. And guys, if you look very closely at the Bitcoin chart, and I don't even have to really point it out, I think you guys can see the bull run that happened from 2012 to 2013. So this one here, from the bottom here all the way to the top, you guys can see lasted 743 days. Now, what happened during the next bull run? Well, if we take it from the bottom here and we bring it all the way to the top, that lasted around 1,069 days. So based on two former bull runs. Now, we don't know how long this one's going to last. We don't know if it's going to follow the same kind of model that we've seen in the past. But based on just two, okay, we don't have a huge sample to reach from, but based on the last two bull runs, we saw that this one took a lot longer to go from the bottom to the top, 1,069 days versus the 743 days. This makes sense too, because the mining, when we talk about the Bitcoin halving, the mining reward gets cut in half, and so it makes it that much more difficult to mine Bitcoin. And so I don't know if you guys have seen the charts on Bitcoin specifically, where they show these kinds of curves that go up like this, right? And then they kind of show you a channel. I'm not doing it justice here, but I think you guys get the idea. Those curves, and eventually kind of when they get near the top here, they just kind of even out and they just kind of go straight like that. This is what's going to cause Bitcoin price to eventually stabilize. And this is part of what causes these Bitcoin bull runs, which indeed translate to crypto bull runs, to extend longer. And so could this be part of this idea that, we might not see an alt season, a second alt season kind of quickly back to back with the first alt season, but could we actually see two prolonged alt seasons over the longer term? And guys, I will link this tweet thread in the description if you want to follow this more closely. He goes on to say, if that's the case, then the $10 to $13 XRP will just be the first parabolic move upward. Like in 2017, I believe there will be two alt seasons, especially because of how long this cycle will be. That means a second parabolic move upward for XRP. How high will it go in the second alt season? So he says, according to TA from Kevin Dixon, past cycles of Bitcoin and XRP performance demonstrate XRP will cross $100 by the end of this bull cycle. This is not based on hopium or hype, but math and historical data. And he links Crypto Kevin Dixon's tweet there. I'm not going to get into that. Also consider that Kin almost 40x'd its price after the kick settlement with the SEC. So he's bringing in the idea that the SEC lawsuit is also going to have an impact on this. Ripple's case is much stronger and XRP's utility vastly greater than the kick. The pretrial hearing clearly demonstrated the weakness of the SEC's case. I believe a settlement is coming soon. He goes on to say, finally, consider the rapidly growing RippleNet interconnections of financial institutions, Ripple registering in Wyoming and Colorado, Flare Network expanding XRP's reach into the DeFi space, and the 150 plus projects being built on XRP. Plus, Ripple is working with central banks to develop CBDCs. So you see what he's doing here. He's taking the entire ecosystem, the entire narrative of what's happening with regards to real-world utility and the spec market. He's combining the two, understanding the fact also that this bull market could go on longer than previous bull markets. XR Patience continues by saying, or finalizes by saying, summary, whether you look at XRP from technical or fundamental aspects, given the likely length of this bull cycle, growing institutional involvement in XRP's vast and growing network and ecosystem, a $100 XRP is not at all unrealistic by the fall of 2022. And again, guys, I will link all this in the description of the video. You can check out some of the TA that would demonstrate that. I am just going to bring up the XRP chart here real quickly just to give you guys a sense of just a basic fractal pattern that I know we've used on this channel before, and I'm sure you've seen it on other channels too. This idea that this trend here, okay, so this trend here is very, very similar to what we saw here. If you guys are looking at the screen, okay, let me clear that out of the way. So if we take this fractal pattern here, okay, and we extend it, we bring it over here, and I'm just going to line up, you guys can see over here, I'm just going to line up this bottom here. Don't know if you guys can see this bottom here, okay, because right now we are seeing, if you guys look at where we are currently, this is kind of where we are right now, that move up, that fractal pattern that I showed you earlier on in the video. So if we line those up, this bottom lines up with this area here lines up with this, and we've already seen this shot up, and then I take that off auto, we can see this trajectory here, okay, this lines up with the near all-time high. This brings us up to roughly the $2.35-50 mark, give or take. Okay, we'd see that retracement back to about $1.40, right in around here. The first alt season would bring us all the way up to here. This is kind of what we're hoping at least, and on this exchange it would bring us up to roughly $15. I know on other exchanges that price point might look a little different just based on the activity that's going on those exchanges. But guys, if we have that extended bull market, and I'm not saying it's going to happen soon, I'm not even saying that it's going to take this amount of time, we could actually see this get extended out even further, okay, like this. We don't really know how much time that's going to take, but I took that fractal, I took the top here, guys, and where would that bring us if we saw this top here? An extended bull run could take us to a price point of roughly $114, so over that $100 mark for XRP. We have seen it in the past, obviously. This is information taken from the Poloniex chart, the XRP chart on the Poloniex exchange. So we saw this play out throughout 2015, 16, 17, bringing XRP to its all-time high here. If we take that same fractal and we assume we are going to see a prolonged bull market with two potential altcoin seasons running us until the fall of 2022, could we see an XRP over $100? I think it's very possible, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. Guys, I'm giving away 2 Ledger Nanos. You have to subscribe by March 31st to be eligible to win, so subscribe now. Also, I love hearing what you guys have to say, so put a comment down in the comment section. See you in the next one, guys.